Peace be unto those who follow the righteous guidance. Welcome to my video response to this documentary. It's difficult to respond to every single point and every single part of this video, so I'm going to focus on just this one part, part 2. This is the link that was sent to me and I was requested to respond, so inshallah I'll do my best, God willing, to respond to it. While I respond to this part, I'd like you viewers to keep a couple of things in mind. Number one, sincerity. This is really important, to be sincere to the truth, not to me, not to anyone else, not even to your own whims and desires. Be sincere to the truth. So I pray we can discuss and not debate or bicker to prove who's right or wrong, which is where arrogance, the crime of Satan against mankind, comes in. May God save us from that, from our own whims and desires and each other's harms. Ameen. I pray our unity upon truth, and only the sound heart will take heed of such sincere gesture, as it is easy for me to also be arrogant and racist in return to the Jew or the Christian who might make a cheap, slanderous comment against my beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. But he is not just mine, he is everybody's, whether you like him or not, whether you want to follow him or not. He is there for everyone to study. That's why he came. He is rahmat al-alameen, a mercy unto mankind, in the sense that everyone can read his life and learn about him and feel however they want. But let's not be arrogant and insulting. What good do we get from that? And so I want to respond to just this one video to the best of my ability, as much as I can remember from watching it. Also I'd like you to keep in mind the whole time that there is an agenda against Islam. So therefore it is very easy to make people believe strange things, whereas Islam might not believe those things, and like killing people for nothing, fight and just lay siege and kill people. It's easy to take words out of context and make it look like Muslims are barbarians and they just want to blow everything up, and they just don't want to enjoy life, and they don't want to laugh, and they don't want to eat food, and they don't want to be merry with their neighbors, etc. Far from the truth. So to be just, I want you all to please remember there's a bigger agenda against Islam. That's why the suit and the necktie and, you know, the university graduates, you know, hooray, you know, and they have these abilities, doctorates that hang behind them on the walls, and that's how they influence the public, and they pick specific ones that they know will say things in a specific way to get a specific message across. That is why it's important for me not to stray and not to do the same thing in return. I want to focus on their points. And by rectifying just their points, by clarifying just their points, I pray you will walk away believing that the entire documentary is full of such rhetoric that I don't have to go in and respond to all 10 parts. So I will only respond to this one and possibly in 3 short part videos. So I hope you'll just bear with me while I do that. Let's start with, he said the Prophet participated in battles. Aside from Jesus Christ, peace and blessings of God be upon him, well, you know, majority of the prophets were in one battle or another for the sake of God, and most of them, a lot of them, had to kill their enemy. I'm not saying that you and I should agree with that or not agree with that. Again, I'm talking about to pick one prophet out and to turn him into something else. Moses, peace and blessings of God be upon him, he killed a man, and then he fought against Pharaoh, and he fought against the idol worshippers. He fought, even though his followers had a difficult time following, and often they said, you and God go fight. It's a biblical term. You and God go fight and get the land for us, and we will come to his kingdom. Let's not go there, but just keeping it in mind. To say that he participated in battles. But let's look at the context of those battles. What happened? What led up to them? The leading events. What caused the battle? Did the Prophet want to fight? Or did he hate the fight? Or did he hate the sword? What was the Prophet really like? Tell the truth. How can you tell the truth from just a few words? You have to open his book and you have to read his life, and you find the contrary. How hard it was for him, how difficult it was for him to finally lift the sword against the enemy that was relentless and would not stop until every Muslim was killed and or was dead. And similarly today, you find hateful comments all over YouTube. You find comments like, why work with the Muslims when we can just kill them all? Let's move on. He perpetrated beheadings. Perpetrated. I don't understand. A killing is a killing. Beheading is one of the ways that many prophets would kill. I mean, read the stories of Solomon. We can read stories, biblical stories, all day long. But again, I'm not talking about right or wrong. We're talking about how this video picks Muhammad out, peace and blessings be upon him, and want to make it look like he is a demonic figure, when really it's far from the truth. He hated to have anyone executed. Often he would execute every avenue possible to avoid the fight, every means possible to avoid the struggle. Why would I want to damn myself? Sincerely, why would I want to damn myself to follow a man who was a warmonger who wanted to kill? Unless I read and found that not to be the truth. Unless I searched and researched, as you should. And if these guys on this documentary had given the whole picture, and it was as such, then I wouldn't have much to stand on. I wouldn't be able to say this. Obviously they lied. And taking things out of context is the same as lying when you do it on purpose. And he said that he was a typical 7th century warlord, etc. These type of comments make it clear there is a racism in the heart. And when you're talking about Alexander the Great, or you're talking about any of the heroes, Napoleon and others, are they called warlords when that's exactly what they were? Do we talk about them like that? It's history. Well, what I'm saying is you could call them all warlords if you wanted to, but to pick one person out when many people were like him shows racism. There is a religious hatred towards Islam. I'm just pointing out some facts here. 21st century context would mean, this is what he said, it would mean terrorism. That kind of puts everything to rest, that there is an agenda here, that anyone who is Muslim or anyone who follows Muhammad is a terrorist. Is this really true? Let's look at the life of Muhammad. Let's see how Muhammad was, who Muhammad was, and then decide for yourselves and for myself, was he truly a terrorist? Okay, let's take a couple of examples. We'll take a break from quoting the documentary. Let's talk about Muhammad, peace be upon him. When he was in battle, how did he fight? One of the companions saw his enemy coming for him, beating him until the companion subdued him. Companion meaning a Muslim. When he subdued the enemy and his sword fell and he fell to the ground, the man said, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. He became Muslim, and the companion took his life. When he came to the Prophet, peace be upon him, after the battle, and he said to him, he said that, but I killed him. Muhammad became so angry. He said, and you killed him? He said he believed and you killed him. He said, oh Messenger of God, he did it only to save his neck. He didn't mean it. And you killed him? But how could I have known the truth? Did you look in his heart? Did you know he was lying? And obviously he was probably lying. But still, even if he lied, the Prophet would have accepted that. He would have accepted that. Don't kill him. Does that mean you have to become Muslim? No. It's nothing to do with that. Do you have to become Muslim in order not to be killed? No, what he's talking about is that battle, in fighting. This man wanted peace. Even if he didn't believe in Allah, after the battle, he probably would have said, no, Allah, I don't believe. And the Prophet was fine with that. He would have said, let him go. And this was a fight that the Muslims were outnumbered 4-1, 5-1, which was usually the case. So I find it hardly a warmongering or a terrorist or a warlord type of mentality. I find it very cynical and ignorant of these so-called graduates to speak like this, when Muhammad, peace be upon him, was in fact very peaceful and did not want to fight, wanted the fight stopped. Even in the Battle of Uhud, he is quoted by other companions who saw him when he was knocked down, he was beaten, his tooth was bleeding, he was almost killed, and he looked up, he said, I saw a woman. And this is in response to another topic about women, what lies they say about Islam and women. There was a woman in front of him. He said, I saw her front and her back. She kept spinning around him with the sword defending him. A woman protected him with her own life, and she took wounds. And the Prophet, when he stood from that, when he was being carried away, his blood dripping, he prayed for the enemies. He said, oh Allah, forgive them, they don't know. A famous quote. He did not want them destroyed. He did not want to fight them. They came from Mecca attacking him. Oh, the Prophet participated in battles. They were going to kill him. He wasn't to defend himself and his family. It is a cynical and an evil plot against Muslims. I'm saying that because